Okay, I'll share a shtickle Maise, Hergesh, or whatever from Tavshin and Aleph. Interesting way of seeing or thinking that I remember from that moment from Achsidish Reed. So first I want to be Magdim, Tavshin and Aleph. That year we were shluchim in Australia, Melbourne, and we weren't supposed to be Chodesh Nisan by the Rebbe. Officially, the shlichus was for 2 years, and we couldn't go in the middle. Everybody knows that in those years, when the shluchim that would go to Melbourne, they had to take up on themselves that no matter what, you never go back to you don't go back in those 2 years. I feel a chassin of your brother, your sister, doesn't matter what. Yeah, you stay for 2 years, full years. So Poyel, major Ashgoche Pratis and love of the Rebbe, we can say now, looking backwards, yeah, it was the first time and the only time, yeah, that the Rebbe gave Reshus, yeah, the Shluchim wrote to the Rebbe in Shvat. Erev Yud Shvat, the group of the Shluchim wrote to the Rebbe, we want to be there for Yidalef Nisan, Shnas Ascholas, Shnas Atishim. We were new that the Rebbe is not going to let us, but we wrote because we wanted to be there. Who doesn't want to be there? And the Poyel, the reference of Yetzem and Aklal, the Chatchila Riba in Gansen, the Rebbe right away gave us Reshus. Not even asking the Anole, says the Rebbe took all Achrayas on himself. Yeah, Al Pizek Yedai, he gave us Reshus to go. And we were zeicher to be that Nisan 3 weeks from Beis Gimel Nisan till a day after Pesach. The Anole made a condition that right a day after Pesach we have to go back. So Yisroel Chag was Sunday, Tavshin and Aleph, and right after Dallas and Minche, we took the plane and we went back. It was a five days flight. To go to Australia between Pesach and Shavuos, you had to fly for 5 days to go through the whole world and the ganze Schlepp. And we came Thursday night. I remember we came to Australia. We went out Sunday night from 770, and we came Thursday night, the night of Chof Nisan. We came to Australia. And sie given a greise simche, the emotions was very strong then. And yeah, if you remember that kufa, you know about that kufa. Tavshin and Aleph was one of the strongest kufas of this galus of the Rebbe right after the Muhammad Gulf War and after all the Nisim when he flows. The Rebbe was misgal in the world. Mamish, it was this galus of the Nasi was the biggest. She given for the greatest moments of his galus of the Rebbe. Yeah, the roll called Afse Yore. It's mamish. Chodesh Nisan is given as a geulidike Chodesh. Yidalef Nisan. I remember what verbracht the ganze Nacht. Und sie given as a simche. The simche jenet kufe is given merendig. This galus von Rebbe. Yeah, we felt that mamish at Yemei HaMashiach. And we came back to Australia. We were so emotional, so freilach that the Rebbe gave us a shoes to go. And we bring those. So given a greise simche in yeshiva, those. And the Rebbe also made a condition with the shluchim, that we wrote to the Rebbe that it's going to give us a nuchayis in the shliches. Of course, we came back with a nuchayis, with a student. So the next morning in Australia, it's 13 hours, I think. So it was when the Rebbe spoke the siche. Was already Friday, like 12 o'clock. Then we heard the Sikha at 11 o'clock, 12, whatever. You're going to meet and say the Nigle. So that when we heard that Sikha of Chof Nisan. So it was like the Rebbe, that Sikha suddenly was like a bomb. Like, you came, the ganze Speiles, his Rakshus, and the ganze Breitkeit, and then the Rebbe tells you that Rebbe Veronik, und the Kitzer, nicht mit der Nemme. It was like all Shviras HaKelim that we had in that moment. And each one took it in his personal way. But I remember I was standing there at the Shluchim and listening to the hookup in Zal in YG, in Yeshiva in Melbourne. We were like, we didn't know what. We couldn't speak for a few hours. We were lost. Anyway, so that was then. And then right away we decided what we're going to do with Shabbos. But next week, So die ganze Welt, die gegangen auf Rebbe, ganz Lubavitch, yeah. So interesting. I want to tell you, it was in the week, the days after, we wanted to know what's going on in the world. Was mentioned. So I learned in Montreal. That was my yeshiva from where I came from. Yes. So I called my friend Bocha Yeshiva that learned in Yeshiva Montreal then. So I asked him what's going on. Was verbringt? Was sagt man? Was. So he tells me that story. He says that Friday night there was a Shalom Zocher in Montreal in the Stadt. There was a Shalom Zocher, and everybody was there. You know, the ganze Kile, the ganze Stadt, and everybody was mixed up. Everybody was lost. Everybody was mishuggah. So everybody came. Shalom Zocher. The ganze Stadt, die gewinnt. Yeah, Chassidim, Anash, Shluchim, Rabbanim. The ganze Medina. Alle sind gekommen. Shalom Zocher. Each one wanted to know who geht me weiter, was tut man, what are we doing? Where are we heading from? So he tells me, yeah, he says the people were screaming, each one was saying, he said, we have done this, we have done Jens, okay, what will the Rebbe? So he told us, so there was he was like a mashpia of Anash, älterer Chassid. He was yeah, those who knew him, remember, but he wasn't that conventional. He would say things which not all the people would think usually. And he took a lot of lechaim. I think he was the Shalom Zocher of his Enikl. So Kitzer, he was there. He took a lot of lechaim. And so then he said like this. So Zalman Rozov took and he said, yeah, ich verstehe nicht. Was ist da geschehen? He said like this. What happened over here? You guys are going crazy. What's going on over here? Yeah, so he said such an ikud. I'm saying Chazorah, what I heard from them, but that's something that on me made a very strong impact. So he said like this. He said, yeah, that what's Chabad, Chassidus Chabad, what's the Peilish Chassidus Chabad Chassidus. So we knew always what's the difference between a Peilish Chassid and a Chabad Chassid. One of the inyanim is as a Peilish Chassid says, "Mein Rebbe." Yeah, mein Rebbe, I have a Rebbe, and bechlal, ja, matzach, sie da der Ringen von sich halten groß mit mein Rebbe. Yeah, we have my Rebbe. Yeah, and the bitu, yeah, the bitu, yeah, my Rebbe, the größte Rebbe. You know, my Rebbe is the best. My Rebbe is the biggest Baal Moifes. My Rebbe is the biggest tzaddik. And the arguments between Chassidim between Chassidei Chagas was about that. You know, who has the biggest Rebbe? Who has the best Rebbe? My Rebbe is yeah, and the Nikude of my Rebbe is Keilu. You know, I have my Rebbe. I have Al Derech. Yeah, but the idea he was explaining. Yeah, I have my house and my car and my thing. So my ninyanim. And I have also my Rebbe, he's the best. Everything by me is the best. My student is the best. My Mishpach is the best. And my Daladam is the best. Also sich habe, my Rebbe is the best, the größte, the schönste. Yeah, Chassidus Chabad hat mir gewusst, yeah, you always knew Chabad verkehrt. It's not about my Rebbe, it's about the Rebbe having me. It's not about me having the Rebbe. It's about the Rebbe having me. The Rebbe hat mir, nicht ich habe Rebbe. Was says the Rebbe hat mir? The Rebbe is having me. So the Rebbe is having me, so the Rebbe, ich bin a Eved Melech, ich bin a Chassid von Rebbe. Und der Rebbe Mond von mir, der Rebbe sagt mir, der Rebbe ist mir, was darf sein, mein Avede. Das ist Chassidus Chabad. Chassidus Chabad, it's not about, yeah, she's mine Rebbe, she's about the Rebbe is having me as a Chassid. So he says, I'm always explaining, he said, what happened to us? We became Peilish Chassidim, he says. Yeah, that kufa. So if you have to understand a little bit, yeah, but the nekuda is very, very strong, very powerful. You know, my Rebbe is the best Rebbe. In that kufa, the whole mitzias of speaking about the Rebbe making Moifsim and conquering the world and bringing Mashiach and the Gulf War and the Nevuah that Rebbe was saying, and every word that Rebbe said was miskayim. So we were very involved on the became big metzias, a ganze yesh, a ganze balgai, and my Rebbe. And then suddenly the Rebbe comes to you in Chofes Nissen, and the Rebbe tells you, what's tutzach midir? You know, what's going on with you? Ja, was das bis gewohnt Farkash in mein Rebbe vergessen, als Rätsel wegen Chassidus Chabad und Chassidus Chabad Rätsel wegen dem Chassid, Rätsel nicht, ja, was tut sich mit dir? Was tust du zu bringen in die Geule? Was tust du zu seiner zu durchführen die Kavonne? So we lost, wir sind gewohnt im Ganzen ist Balbut. Was bist denn ist Balbut geworden? Du bist doch ein Chassid Chabad, das Mann von dir. Aber das ist der Rebbe Mann für Chassidim. So that Nikude, yeah, Nikude made by me at least that changed the whole outlook, the old Nikude, the old Metzias. Wegen dem Rätsel das, yeah, yeah. Der Rebbe kommt zu gehen und Mann bei dir. Was will man von dir? Was man sagt für dir? When you look back to the first Farbrengen, Yud Toshin Yud Aleph, you see it right in the first day. Shivim Shana, bekocht doch. The Shivim Shana from the Sius. You look at the first Farbrengen, Yud Toshin Yud Aleph, and you see by the Rebbe that Nikude from the first day, everybody knows, right after the Basi Legani, and the Rebbe said the Maimer, yeah, the first Maimer of the ganze Sture. What was the first words of the Rebbe right after the Maimer? Herzlich Chassidim. Yeah, what was the Rebbe's message right after the Maimer, the Kabbalah Sanisius message? What the Rebbe was saying, Herzlich Chassidim, listen. The what? The Chassidus Chabad, we said that it has to be Aveda B'Kach Hatzmei. There is Chpelish Chassidus, was dort in Zokmen, the Tzadik B'Munasa, Yichye, Yechaye, that the Rebbe will do, and you have the best Rebbe, and he's going to do for you everything. But Chassidus Chabad, there's another outlook, it's another Zugang, it's another Gedder, it's nicht was the Rebbe, it's what du tust. Yeah, and then the Rebbe explained that first Siche, as the Mashiach was able, the Friedrich Rebbe was able to bring Mashiach by himself, the Mashiach Sefer Teire, and he wanted everybody to have a Shayches. And Al Derech said to bring the Geule, even though the Tzaddik can do it by himself, he wants to make us all Shutfim, that we should be part of it, that we should do it. So if you look into it, so that's Mamish the Nikuda that happened Chavches Nissen. 40 years later, the Rebbe comes in that Sich, and that's what he speaks to us. He tells us, Chevre, yeah, stop relying. The Rebbe is für die Welt, alles gut und fein, aber was tut's am Chassidim? Yeah, ich will as Israel tun. And that in Shabbos Shmini, yeah, I'm sure people learn that Farbrengen, the erste Shabbos Shmini Nun Aleph, if you learn this, the Siche, yeah, so from Chavches Nissen, so the Rebbe was Mezakios with Farbrengens, and each Farbrengen was the Rebbe was gave us guidelines, gave us Aveda, he gave us Askoli, he gave us Savone, he gave us Sugyas, yeah, how to live Mashiach, not time to speak about Mashiach like words. That how to live Mashiach really in Bepnimius, every Shabbos, every Farbrengen was a whole Sugi of Geule. So right in Shmini, you see the words of the Rebbe. What is the Rebbe saying? He's saying, I want to have Shutfim. That's the words of the Siche. Mugidik Siche of Shmini Nun Aleph. Yeah, what is the Rebbe saying? Yeah, that as it does sein Shutfim, wants to have Shutfim, you know, if you think into it, what's Pshat, being a Shutif? Yeah, the schus of being the Rebbe's a Shutif. The Rebbe says, I want to have Shutfim. Yeah, and Shutfim is not only, that's what the Rebbe says in the Sicha. He's saying a Shutif. Shutev is not only pshat, you know, that one is doing and everybody's looking. Shutev is the pshat is that you should have in the achrayis. That's the lotion of the Mugidik Siche of the Nale. Shutev is in the achrayis. So the Rebbe wants us Shutev in the achrayis. So that's the Rebbe's language to say, azay, or dos mont mefuchsinim. Darf ich vergessen, dann ich sehe Chabad, Monzach Avede, and Avede Bekach Hatzmei. From the first day, that's what the Rebbe said it right away. Yud Aleph. And that's what the Rebbe said it again in Chavches Nissen, because we started forgetting about it. We started forgetting that, you know, that it's wegen unserer Avede, wegen unser Inyan, as mir darfen Tag leben Mashiach, leben die Geule bepeil mamish. And that's the Nikudev, that's what it has to be our Avede now. Yes, they're standing in Chavches Nissen, Shleishim Shana, was darf a Chosid trachten, a Chosid darf trachten, was redet der Rebbe zu mir, was sagt der Rebbe zu mir? Und wir darf nehmen the Siches of the Shleishim Shana. I think each one of us, even though we learned it already many times, but being in such a tkufe, being on the Shleishim Shana is this man grome, that each one should take upon himself to every Shabbos, every week, yeah, to learn that Siche and learn it again, and not learning it as like information. Learning it and living. That's what the Rebbe gewollt. The Rebbe toch geben Leben Mashiach. It's not like having a munne, something abstract. Der Rebbe hat doch gewollt, sollen im Leben. Ein Leben meint, lernen, trachten, tun mit dem. Also, Geule should be a state of mind, should be our life. So lechaim, we should be lebedik chassidim, and we should take that tzricha not only like Farkash and the son of the what happened over there, what was the Rebbe saying, and and then we go back to we on the mitzvah. It's not about a day. Many chassidim already said it many times. It's not a big. I'm sure we said it during the night also. A few people said it. Farkash is not about a day of Farkash Nissen. Farkash is Farkash Nissen, and Lamed Nissen, and it's Erev Farkash Nissen. It's every day in the year. Farkash Nissen is the nekuda. What the Rabbi is saying is that Seretzer wegen Chassidei Chabad. And Chassidei Chabad is not about we have a big Rebbe and that's about it. Chassidei Chabad Retzer wegen Aveda Bekeach Atzmei, and the Rebbe wants to have Shutfim, and that's the biggest chus. Feeling you have the Rebbe is taking you and he believes in us. Yeah, that's the point of Farkash Nissen. The Rebbe says, I believe in you. If I wouldn't believe in you, I wouldn't demand from you things which I know it's not shy. Yeah, so if I demand, it means I believe in you. Ich lebe in deine Keches. Ich lebe, du kennst. Ich lebe, du wirst kennen Peil sein. Und bei Meile, Monich bei dir. Monich bei dir. Du bist ein Schutef. Sei ein Schutef im Ganzen. So you should actually believe and live with it and work on it and take the achrayas on it. The gather of a Schutef, he takes achrayas. It's part of your responsibility also. Work on it. And the love of the Rebbe is that the whole year he gave us siches and verbringens. Hat uns mechaner given via ze lebt Mashiach. I think if you learn the siches and that with that attitude, if you learn the verbringen shmini tazriya mitzela achrik einen of the andere, du lernst die verbringens von den Alef und Beis und du tragst sich herein, der Rebbe poshet hat auch gegeben ein ganzes Jahr, Shabbos nach Shabbos, mechaner, and also in the weekdays when der Rebbe gerät, poshet mechaner given chsidim via ze lebt geule in Leben, chaya yem yem, are you live Yemei HaMashiach. Yeah, wie ze lebt men hecher von Welt, in Welt, Shmini, Shmeino, Erev, Mochel, Chedish, wie ze tak ist von einer Seite mit der Werk Bollens, Mann, von zweiten Seite, auch ist Werk Bollens, dann noch das Jahr mit Zero, Yani Gul Mashiach, Poshet verbringen, sicher, Maimer noch Maimer, am lernen die verbringen, sicher, die Trachs rein, zeste, wie viel Rebbe was mechanisch aus, wie ze, wir sollen take, nehmen Mashiach, leben das in der Pnimis, die helfen. Reisgegeben von dem Golos Pnimis, wie der Rebbe sagt in die Siche. So, wir meilen lechaim, wir sollen leben und leben Mashiach, wir sollen nicht eigentlich Pedisch Chassidim, wir sollen Chabad Chassidim, und Aveda Bekeach Atzmei, mit der Pnimis, und wir kommen Mamisch, wie der Rebbe nicht Galle will, und der Reisgegeben von Golus, Bepeil Mamisch, die Kavon ist, Geule Bepeil, like der Rebbe Marash said, nicht in es only not Ziel ist Tag, ist auch Kommentar in der Mathe, wie Gashmias, wir sollen sehr sicher sein, selbst mit dem Rebbe, bei Einig Wasser, wer hui golein, oder Chaim,